thing that I feel that I need to be honest about is that I don't think that I'm gonna get to my goal. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Viviana and I have been sharing with you all about my show prep. I am now 6 weeks out to the show that I plan on doing, and I am going to give you my weekly updates. Okay, so I'm going back to my routine and of course to work, and I couldn't find my shoes, the ones I want to use for work, and then my phone, my work phone, couldn't find it, found it, no battery. It's just how it happens, and here I am getting my coffee, running before work. Good morning everybody. It is Tuesday and today I'm here doing my cardio, my training. It is also a check-in day, so we'll see if there are any changes. Last week we had a recovery week and our cardio went down, our calories went up, and then we just came back to what our previous plan. So I'm checking in today and we'll see if there's any changes, and I will share that with you. Have a great day. Okay, so it is time to check in. I finished my training, my cardio, and then now I am checking in. Trying to think if I haven't shared anything, but usually what I do is I weigh myself, which is that every day, but then the measurements happens once a week, which is when I do my check-in, and then I'll do my posing, my pictures, and then kind of like my wellness check, and that's every week also. So here we go.
Young lady, so we did a recovery week, and everything stayed pretty stable. You got home and the weight went up and you got your cycle again. So that's a huge win. Getting your hormones to a place where your body says, okay, it's good to have a cycle, then we're good. The food was up, back with the cardio being where it goes. Okay, 60 minutes, 6 days a week, or 5 days a week, sorry. So let's see how this progress comes this week with 6 weeks to go. I want to set a goal weight for you for the stage, 114. I think that's where I think you'll really have some good separation, good detail. Overall, you look fantastic now, but we just want to get a little more detail on the abdomen, the lower back, and then the quads and glutes. Okay. Thank you, Viviana.
Okay, so we are back to our reality, right? Work, and home and everything. So I got home and the first thing we did was bring our kids together and have some lunch, and then our routine, which is go to church and brunch and just get my grandbaby and everybody under the same roof. And when you go to a funeral, there's a lot of things that go in your mind, through your mind, because you just always, or at least us, we put ourselves in that spot and all these thoughts, right? But I am back to work and I have a lot of work, and of course there's always surprises. And what I mean by that is either issues, whether it is staff related, customer service, families, so many things that I have to take care of. But that's okay. I always find or try to find the good in everything and be positive, and I know that that's what keeps me going. Otherwise, I think it'd be a boring life, right? So anyways, we're back to working, cardio in the morning, cardio in the evening, training, posing, and of course, trying never to avoid or not to have family time. So here we go, another week. Thank God for everything, and it'll be okay. I did my groceries to be delivered so that I don't waste time on that and I can do my meal prep. Okay, everybody, so we are now 6 weeks out to the show that I've been planning on doing. And this week, I got back from Nebraska. I shared with you on my vlog last week that we went to a funeral. So I was out of work, out of state last week, and then I got back. And so, back to work means catching up, a lot going on. I was able to train and do everything as far as for my prep while I was out. But again, these are situations that are not planned, things that happen, and then, you just kind of try the best that you can, right, as things come up. Now, this week, like I mentioned, work was a lot of catching up. There was a lot going on. There still is. There will always be. But just eventful things, right, that don't normally happen. It's kind of like I always have said that I'm Viviana Tragedias or Viviana Tragedies because things keep happening to me always, that it's not even like new or anything. And so it's part of life and it's okay. I've, kind of try to be positive with the situations that happen. And so this week I was not able, to share as much as far as like where I'm going, what I'm doing, because a lot of my time was spent doing work, just catching up with my work. We had a clinic at work, which means, we have to make sure that the whole event runs, not only checking people, but consent forms, just everything that has to do with the clinic. And we just have to make sure that it's run smoothly. So that was one thing happening. And of course, the normal weekly work reports, customer service situations, things like that. So it's a lot, but we got it done, and super grateful for my job and the things that I do and the things that I get to learn. But when it comes to my prep, I just have to make sure that I have as much planned out as possible so that things can go well. Now, I checked in this week, and my check-in was based on the week that I was gone last week. And so I did not get my cycle when I was, my menstrual cycle while I was out. And I think it has to do because there was no stress going on as far as like work, the schedule, having to do my cardio, do my training, get my meals, go to work, come back, do the second cardio. Those things were not being done, when you're with your family, and then having to go to the gym is just at whatever time you're available, doing your cardio. That wasn't the same thing, but it came down 30 minutes. So it was not as stressful, and I feel that that's probably why. But then when I got home, I gained weight and I got my cycle, and I'm sure the weight was due to getting my menstrual cycle again. So that happened, and there hasn't been changes as far as like things that we need to worry about. Now it's just going to be just trying to get leaner and more conditioned to be prepared, to be ready for us to compete for the stage. The plan right now is to get to 114 pounds. I am 119.5 6.5 at the moment. I still have 6 weeks to go, or six or 6.5, 6 weeks, I think. And I have 119 or 119.5 and 5 more pounds to go. So within the next 6 weeks, that is the plan, to slowly get to that weight, to get leaner and more conditioned. It all depends on how my body looks. It's kind of like what we can see what's happening, but nothing else is changing. Now, next week or this coming week, I'm checking in again on Tuesday, and I have my birthday coming up. So I mentioned also that I'm going to have a short birthday trip, and I did let my coach know so that we can kind of plan for that as well. So I am hoping that everything goes well and it doesn't mess anything up while I'm out of town for my birthday trip, and that we can hopefully be able to manage my training, my cardio, my meals, and everything while that's happening. I don't know how things are gonna go. Obviously, we want to plan everything out, make sure that we try our very best for everything, and just again to make sure that we are planning for everything. But next week I will check it on Tuesday. I will leave, I think it's Wednesday, that I will go on PTO, and then I will come back next week on Tuesday, the following Tuesday. But I come straight to a work training the next week. So it is going to be a little crazy for me, but I think it's going to be fun. So I am ready, to celebrate my birthday, but I'm also ready to do what I have to do to get to this competition that I've been planning to do. My meals continue to be the same. I don't change a lot of it. If anything, it's like the vegetables, the carbohydrates usually are my, sweet potatoes, bread, tortilla, rice cakes, Drizzlicious, and popcorn. Those are kind of like the ones that I kind of swap. But everything else, it mostly stays the same. I continue to try to be, go out to events if there is birthdays, and if they're, just socializing. I continue to go out and socialize, go out on my walks. So again, there hasn't been major changes. So we are 6 weeks out now, and I am going to try my very best to get to 114 pounds. That is 5 more pounds away, but let's see if we can do that, and let's see what challenges come with it. But I'm absolutely ready to do this. The thing that I feel that I need to be honest about is that I don't think that I'm gonna get to my goal. I honestly feel good. I know that's not a bad thing, but I don't feel I'm on prep at the moment, and I don't feel lean enough. I don't feel that I'm gonna be conditioned enough, and that's because I feel so good. Like, I don't feel crazy hungry. I don't feel tired. I had previously had some energy drops and waves where I felt, my energy going up, my energy going down. I don't feel that. I don't. And I said before, I had my first prep 13 years ago, and I'm not doing crazy cardio like I did before, so I get it. That's probably one. I'm not doing a crazy meal plan that I used to do, and I get it. That's another reason why. And every year, my physique looks different. I start my prep different. I start leaner. I start, I have to lose less weight, less body fat every time I prep. And that is all absolutely amazing and it is great. But if I am being honest, I don't feel that I'm on prep. I don't feel tired. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel exhausted. I mean, I even sometimes there is on my check-ins feedbacks that I get from my coach, I can't believe you're not hungry. I can't believe you're not feeling. Now, I do have to say that it depends on the person too, because I mean, just like me as a nurse and anybody, when you are asked your pain, you know, from 1 to 100, I'm sorry, when you're asked for your pain level, 1 being the lowest to 10 being the highest, it could be the exact same, I don't know, shot they give you and another patient, and that person might say, wow, that was a 10. And then you might ask me, that was 0. There was no pain. So I think it's also perspective. I think age, everything matters when it comes to the feedback. On my wellness check, I'm honest, but I'm also a very, I don't know what would be the word, where I don't complain or say things very, you know, I can't say I'm hungry as a 10 because, oh, I hear my stomach. Like it's normal to be hungry if you haven't had food. And yes, your hunger goes up, but to me, a 10 is like you're starving, you know, but then there's other athletes, other people that will say, oh, it feels like a 10. Same thing for stress. I don't know, can be a 10 and very stressful. And to me, no, you know, 0 stress, just do what you can, get it, you know, and that's that. And then, of course, like everything's very, you know, self-explain. Your nutrition, did you meet your macros goals, right? Yes or no? And some people will like put yes on the 10 when maybe there wasn't something that they didn't weigh. Maybe they added an additional, I don't know, rice cake, those kinds of things. And maybe to them it's like, well, it's just a rice cake. To me, it's no, you were not compliant. You added something else, you know. So that is another thing that I feel is important, that not everybody's judgment is the same. So when you see my wellness check and you see somebody else's, like the other athletes' wellness check, even if it's the same team, it's going to be different. It's going to be different because it's based on my thoughts and obviously, of course, their events happening and what they're doing. But the way that you judge yourself on the wellness check and what you think, whether your training was a 10, nutrition a 10, the stress level, you know, all these things, that is going to be personal. That's going to be your or my judgment, the way I decide on how I score myself, if that makes sense. So to get back to the point, that is probably why, for me, and my honest feeling is that I am not lean enough, conditioned enough, and with what I've seen so far, I don't know if I can get there. I mean, maybe, you know, last prep, I did have to do more cardio. Maybe I'm going to add more cardio since I'm not doing that, you know, much at the moment. Again, this is me saying it's not a lot of cardio to me, right? To other people, what I'm doing might sound like a crazy person. But I feel that that's my way of judging myself, or the way that I see my check-in. There obviously has been progress. I was 117 pounds last year this same show at on stage, and I'm 119.5. So if we look at the weight and compare it from last year and previous years, I have more muscle. My weight, I'm only 2 pounds away from stage weight from last year. My physique looks totally different, or I feel it looks different. My posing is different. It's just a very huge improvement. But me personally, which I'm gonna suggest to my coach, is that I feel like we need to add more, either go down on our calories, take one of my high days out, add more cardio, something that is gonna help me bring my body fat a little faster, just because I don't feel I have enough time and I want to feel ready ahead of time. Me personally. So I'm going to be sharing my suggestions and my opinions to my coach, and then I'll see, what he thinks. And I know that athletes sometimes wear, what do they call it? Prep goggles, where we have these, seems like we don't see our progress, or we don't see the things, our physique and the things, how they're going the same. And when somebody else like your coach is looking at you, they can tell you, look, this is what's going on, you're doing okay. Otherwise, I would have told you, don't worry about it, you just follow your plan, right? And yes, ask questions, I do all the time, but I feel so good that it's hard to believe that I am 6 weeks out and I don't feel stressed. I don't feel like hungry, like starving. My energy is so good. And again, it could just be my mentality, my perspective, and the previous preps that I've had that I'm comparing with. But I am very excited, and I can see my improvement already, comparing my pictures from my previous show and prep, and then how I am now from my prep from previous shows. So it's working great, I feel. But I'm just very, very honest with myself, and that's really what I want. I just want to make sure that I'm honest with myself and with my coach, and that we do things that we have to do to come to that stage the best that I've ever been, and that there's improvement, and that I can say that day I tried everything I could to be the best I could be. So I am now 6 weeks out. I will check in on Tuesday, and next week is my birthday, and I am going out on a trip for my birthday, so I am excited for that. I will try to share all of the things going on and how I manage my prep while I'm on vacation. But that's it for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.